Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Tales with TR, episode 278B. I'm your host, Terry Ryan Jr., and today I have NHL veteran, Western Hockey League veteran, Western Hockey League Snipe Show, owner of Up My Hockey, and now habitant of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, USA. It's Jason Podollan. Jason, how the hell are you doing today?
Doing fantastic, TR. Good to see you again, man.
Great to see you. Now you're down in Coeur d'Alene coaching with my old buddy, Jeremy Milmock. Two good friends, some of my oldest friends in hockey. What brought you down there? What exactly are you doing?
What a great town. Well, I'm here because I'm sure we've talked about it before, but hockey's getting really expensive from a father standpoint, especially when you got three that are doing out in Western Canada. So my youngest turning 13 here soon. So he's into the U15 ranks. So I had two guys in academy hockey last year. Now TJ's joining to make it three. Unfortunately, it sounds absurd to say it, but that's getting close to looking at like six figures, $90,000 to $100,000 for them to play hockey this year.
Fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what, like that doesn't make sense. You know, it doesn't make sense for anyone. But I'm like, even for me, like with my background and experience, I'm like, I should just throw my hat in the ring in a few places and see, you know, what's out there. And yeah, I did that a few places in the CSSHL where the boys would maybe want to play, and Coeur d'Alene was one of them. And talked with Jeremy, and he wanted some support with his U18 prep team, and then throughout kind of the Coeur d'Alene Academy, we came down, we visited, and you've been around the area there, like not necessarily maybe Coeur d'Alene. I don't know where you've been, TR, but I know you.
I love Coeur d'Alene. Been there a lot, man. Love it. It's one of the most beautiful cities in Northwest USA. Little, I'd say town, not city, but almost like Pleasantville.
It's unbelievable. I kind of think it's like Kelowna, but yet not the size. Like, you know, it's like way more accessible. You know, you still have the great restaurants, you have the lake and waterways, you have all the outdoor things to do, great golf. For us, like from a lifestyle scenario, it's like been so great because we were in rink Kelowna last year, and they're in Kelowna, they're in Lake Country, they're in Vernon. So the boys are on shuttles all day long, and we lived at Predator Ridge. So we were like 20 minutes to drop them off, 20 minutes to pick them up. This year, we're like 7 minutes from the rink, and everything's at the rink. So like, it's been so nice from like I said, just from a lifestyle, quality of life scenario. We've had a great time so far, and I've really enjoyed being around the boys and helping the crew out.
So for those listening, I'd say most don't realize. So I played against Jason and Junior in the Western Hockey League. Okay, so we went and we had the same agents, so we were often talking. We would hang out in the summer, go to places like Brainerd to train, Edmonton, wherever it would be, and Tri-City. So Washington State borders Idaho, so you got Tri-Cities was about an hour and a half south of Spokane. Drive up to Spokane. Now I would go there, and my billets highly encouraged. You got to visit Coeur d'Alene. So I went there really, really early on. I was like 16, and I went back a few times. How far of a drive is it from Spokane? I remember getting there like within a day, so it couldn't have been that far from me. But
it's only like 20 minutes, half an hour. So yeah.
So do you go over there?
I haven't been there yet, but total full circle for me, right, Terry? And I lived in the valley too, right, in Spokane, which is even closer to Coeur d'Alene than Coeur d'Alene City. So like, there used to be a dog park out here back in the day. So like, for those of you, I don't even know if they exist anymore, but greyhounds would race like horses, and it was Coeur d'Alene Dog Park, and we would go out there and we'd bet on the dogs, and like it was fun to visit Coeur d'Alene. So now coming back here, like 30 years later is pretty wild. But yeah, total full circle for me. I'm close to the Chiefs. As you already mentioned there, played 4 years with the Chiefs, like one of the most special times in my life. My billets are still here close. Like all that's going to happen, but I'm still getting my feet underneath me, you know, just figuring things out here. But I plan to hit some Chief games this year and see my billets and all that good stuff.
Is the Boone Street Barn a thing anymore? My first couple of years, those listening, we played in the Boone Street Barn, which was a tough place to play. Really, a lot of character downtown Spoke, and then they moved over. I forget but the new rink is one of the nicest in all of junior hockey. New, 25 years old now, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So, is there anything where Boone used to be? Is it still a rink?
I think it's a parking lot. Unfortunately, okay. But yeah. Well, you know what? I'll have a good story for you with the Boone Street Barn since you played in it. So I got the coolest, sometimes people take photos or you don't even know what's going on, right? And all of a sudden you'll get something in your stall or whatever. But this gentleman that took photos for the team, this picture showed up in my stall, and it was a picture of like just a skate, like stepping off the ice. And he told me, he goes, your skate's the last skate to ever step on Boone Street Barn. Because I was the first star of the last game played there. So, you go out after the game. And so I said something to the crowd or whatever and went out for a little twirl and then stepped off.
No way.
Yeah. And he got my skate coming off. So like, really, I mean, like that was something I wouldn't even really realize, but a kind of a cool piece of memorandum there for me. And I have that in my office. Kind of something I'm proud of.
Yeah, man, that's deadly. When you first went there, I was trying to look, Podes. Was it the Bantam draft? You get drafted high in the Bantam draft, or was I the first year of that?
I think the 76s were actually the second year of the draft. Darcy Mattersdorfer went the year before. He was the 75 draft, but there was a ton of guys that were already listed. So that was sort of, there was a bunch of guys that weren't available. And then my year, the 76 year, there was only 3 that weren't available. So it was me, Jeff Friesen, and Travis Clayton. Yeah, Travis Clayton out of Saskatchewan. So there was 3 of us that weren't eligible for that draft. So it was almost the first full draft. Like your year was the first year that nobody was listed from the old rules. So I was, so I don't know how you look at that. You would kind of consider me as maybe like a top 3 pick, I guess, in that scenario, right? Because we were already gone. Anyways, whatever.
There you go. There you go. I was third. There we go. We got that in common as well. And just to, I don't want to move on from, we're just going to shoot the shit for another 10 or 15 minutes, really. I know you're busy, but I don't want to move on from Spokane yet. I'm wondering, when there was a pretty big rivalry, and so when I first heard of you, you were on, and you're 1 year older than me, so you were coming into your draft year. You were definitely a name. Had played with the Hurley brothers, who I played with, Sherwood Park, Dubinsky, and all that, and I got to know this story. Okay, now I remember going to camp, and I had to work on my skating, and I remember you saying that, but I thought you were a great skater. And did you use your arms to skate? Do you ever teach that? Do you know what I mean? Like, you use your arms more, and it gives you some extras. I don't know how you did it. I don't know if you learned that. I don't know if it's natural. I don't know if you went, because I remember us going to so many camps and working on edges and stuff. And I thought you were a way better skater than me. We kind of got lumped into the same category. I didn't think that. But was that something you learned, or was that just natural?
Well, you know what? I don't know. That's kind of funny you bring that up, just because I do teach skating now fairly often. And for a while there, guys were trying to teach skating as like you would have your arms pump like you're a sprinter on the track. And I never, ever agreed with that. I'm like, that makes 0 sense. Like, your arms aren't going forward and backward because your legs aren't going forward and backward. Like, it has to be like a pendulum motion. So like the fact that was getting taught, I'm talking at NHL levels, that was getting taught for a while.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, like it's more like a speed skater scenario for me. Like, if you watch a speed skater, what are their arms doing? They're going across their body because they're actively counterbalancing, I guess would be the best way to put it, like what your legs are doing. So it does help you load your leg, and it helps you load your drive phase. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know, TR, if I was taught that or how it goes. But I know now when I teach it, like, that's definitely something that you want to incorporate into your stride is your legs. I mean, your arms crossing,
give you momentum,
what your legs are doing.
And you always naturally had your stick on the ground. Like Tucker's example, he didn't. Tuck skated like that right now. I mean, second in the league 2 years in a row in scoring. I'm not belittling him in any way or putting down the fact he could put the puck in that. But when he skated, he propelled himself by, like, his stick can almost spear your eye out while he was skating. Yeah. Right? You were completely different, and the puck would come, and I'd say to kids too, if your stick's on the ice, I mean, it seems like the obvious answer, but if you're in front of the net and things are happening quick and your stick's on the ice, you probably have a better chance, to succeed. Now, we're just finished camp. Basically, just finished camp. NHL starts today, I think, or if not tomorrow. Do you have any camp memories, or I won't say advice, But is there one camp that really stands out to you above any others? And it could be in any level, doesn't it, to be NHL? I'm just curious.
I think the one where we were with Roger Nielsen in Prince Edward Island was really fun because that's where Roger was from. So he took us out to Prince Edward Island. I'd never been there before. We stayed at Mill River Golf Course. So like we would have our day, you know how it went. Like you'd go in the morning, do your ice time, you maybe play your scrimmage, but there was always some point of time where you were on your own to do whatever you wanted. And I remember playing frickin' 36 holes like while I was out there. We were getting free golf, right? Free golf.
It's a great course too.
Oh yeah, it was a ton of fun. So I totally remember that. I mean, I think I remember it too because I was successful. Like they used to keep track of your training camp scoring, and I was top 5 I think or something that year. It was just a lot of fun. The people were great. I remember that one. I remember one after camp. They had it in Florida one year, and this is actually a funny story your listeners might like. But Brian Screwlin was the captain at the time, and so he was driving back from the rink. We were in a different area than we were usually in, and saw Hooters, a Hooters restaurant there, and this big sign that there was a bikini contest that night. So he had a great idea because we were down at the end of camp, there's only a few guys left that weren't regulars, and he thought that'd be a good thing for the rookies to go out on stage that night in their boxers or whatever their underwear were with the girls. Wow. So anyways, all the guys were in the crowd, right? And, we're up there with these Hooter bikini girls, and we come out in our boxers and, lubed up. And anyways, it was completely humiliating and embarrassing. But it was also pretty damn fun because you're backstage with all the girls in the bikinis, right? So, I mean, it wasn't the worst place to be. But I totally remember that. And that was totally like a screwy thing to do. Brian Screwlin was awesome. He was always thinking outside the box and finding ways to have some fun with the group.
So he's still into that. I do all kinds of these alumni events with him. I'm going to one in 2 weeks in Sudbury. We do Easter Seals. We do Hockey Helps the Homeless, Alzheimer's fundraisers, all kinds of things that we go in, right, and play a weekend. And often it's myself, him, some legends that you would have played with, Wendell Clark and Doug Gilmour. Those are two big, guys that we continue to go. I almost, what's the word? Fly on the wall is not, but I like to go and eat with them and hear the stories. And Screwy, I'm like, he has so many stories.
Oh yeah.
And and I see how, because he's always fucking with people. He's still pranking, like he's still 19 years old. You know what I mean? And we go on these things. I mean, I say, I can't imagine hanging out with him for a full year, and like every day must have been some sort of adventure.
We had camp in Windsor. I think I'm getting that town right. One year, and so we're there, and it's a big thing because the Florida Panthers are in town, and they host this. I don't even know what you'd call it, like some type of a gala, let's say, right? Like it's in this big auditorium. There's a head table. All of us are up on this head table, and with like the mayor and some whatever counselors and all this stuff, right? The mayor must have been 100, right? Like the mayor of Windsor was grizzled. This guy was so old, sweet old man. Like he introduces the crowd, everything's happening. Screwy chew checks the mayor. Screwy chew checks the mayor of Windsor. He had no idea why there. Oh, no clue. He had no idea why there was stuff on his shoe. He had no idea why people were laughing. And of course, like Screwy, right? Like of all people, I was like, oh my God, that's unbelievable that you chose to shoe check the mayor of Windsor.
That's beautiful. What do you think? What do you think of the McDavid contract?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love that stuff. I mean, I love it. I mean, some guys are going to be ridiculing him and throw him over the coals, but I think that's great. I'm kind of old school. Me too. I like Sid. I like the way Sid handles stuff. Yeah. I think that winning's a big deal. I don't value money over everything else. You know what I mean? I have way less money than McDavid, and I think I'm doing fine. I'm sure he feels like he's doing fine. So, for him to say, hey, 12.5 is good because I want to win here. I want to make this team as competitive as possible. I mean, frick, I super respect it. I think it's unbelievable.
Me too, buddy. I just finished saying that. I guess that on another podcast. And I know, I guess you're from the PA. You should probably, a lot of people say, well, you should have the opposite opinion. I'm like, but it depends what you value. He wants to win, and clearly, there's a cap. Like people's hands are tied. Like I totally understand it, and I like it. And it's tough to say from my position that I would do the same, but I think I would just like again being him. it's really tough, but in some hypothetical world, if this is me and I have that much power as Connor McDavid and coming in, I'm thinking, and you know what he's thinking? He wants to fucking win. That's the main thing. And he put, now here you go, Edmonton. Here's some, help me out here. Now you got $5 million extra to work with. You know, I'd like a sniper. How about a goalie? Maybe a defense. Like there's all kinds of routes to go with that now because he decided to be unselfish. And I think that goes into his package as a hockey player, right? Attitude is something. And again, it doesn't make Kaprizov a bad guy or a bad teammate. It just accentuates how good of a leader Connor McDavid actually is.
Yeah. And it's they're in different stages of where they're at too. You know, Kaprizov to McDavid, like with their different levels of proof, like different support, closer to the cup and the promised land. And I don't know. I don't think that happens in any other sport. I mean, very rarely. Very rarely does it happen in any other sport. And yeah, you mean from the aspect, if you want to look at through the lens of, hey, what's best for the players in general and that side of it, I mean, yeah, they want to maximize contracts. So that makes everyone else worth more. Like, I totally understand that side of it. But I love the beauty of our game where it's like, you know what? I'm good. I want to win. I want to win with 20 of my brothers, and I want to have the best chance to do it. I think that there's a lot of selflessness that goes around that, a lot of non-ego that goes with that I think is beautiful. And I would never argue that. I also wouldn't argue if he signed for 20 over 2 and say, hey man, good for you. You've earned every penny. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have really a dog in the fight. I respect both sides of it, but I totally love the fact that he chose this option and he wants to win.
Well said, my friend. LA Kings 98-99. You played a few games. Can't remember exactly how many, but what I did see was 5 penalty minutes. So who did you fight in 98-99 while playing for the Los Angeles Kings?
Jamal Myers.
Oh, did you? He can throw him. Yeah, I fought him in the minors in Worcester. You fought him, and that just came right into your head. So give me the circumstance around it.
Yeah, you'll really appreciate this. So I got to go a little bit of a backstory. So when they traded for me at the deadline, LA did for Yannick Perreault.
Yeah.
I didn't really, at the time, you mean the business side of it, I was just a hockey player. I didn't really think about the business side of it at all. Little did I know that I had, I think it was 6 games. If I would have played 6 NHL games after they traded for me, my contract I would have played 40 NHL games in my first contract, which would have put me into a one-way. So it would have canceled out my two-way, and I would have became a one-way. So they started me in Long Beach, which I didn't really know. I just thought, okay, well, they're putting me in Long Beach, and I'm going to be here for a little while. So they kept me in Long Beach until there was only 5 games left in the regular season with LA, and then called me up, which left me at 39 games, right? Not 40.
And it also, by the way, I'm going to add to this because I don't think you're going to – I know the year you're talking about. I haven't looked at shit. I'm telling you from memory. Correct me if I'm wrong. You had 42 goals in St. John's. You go out there, you get 5 more. You get 47, I think, maybe 48 goals. So you got fucked both ways because you got called up. I didn't know this about the one-way, but so it didn't turn into a one-way. And you didn't get the fuck. You would have been the only 50-goal scorer in the minors. Am I wrong? Keep going. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're right. Yeah. And then they totally used that against me in the summer too. They didn't have to qualify me. They gave me that was a butcher job. But anyways, regardless of that, so they called me up for the last 5 games. LA's out of the playoffs. Really old, like an older team, like Robitaille's there, Blake, Stumple, Gary Galley, like a lot of veteran guys, right? That are kind of just playing it out, right? Like they have not much to play for. I have everything to play for. So it's a really awkward environment, to be honest, right? You know, like you're going out there, you're trying to do your best, but like there's a different energy about what's happening. And it was the last game of the season. So to answer your question, it's the last game of the season. We're playing against St. Louis. They're also out of the playoffs. And it happened to be Wayne Gretzky's last game ever. So like he's doing the tour in New York, and his tour, like his laps around the rink, are being displayed on the Jumbotron in LA, right? Like where he played for a while. I think pretty much all the teams were doing it.
Yeah.
And anyway, so it was just like, it was this whole kind of dull vibe to our game, right? 2 non-playoff teams. there is kind of a little bit of buzz about Gretzky, then that's over, and then we have this game. So it's kind of like a flatter than piss on a plate game. I'm trying to go out there and do whatever, unsuccessfully apparently. And Larry Robinson, I came off after a shift, I think it was in the second period, and he's freaking reaming me, right? I can't remember like exactly what was said, but apparently I wasn't trying hard enough in this, in this game 82 environment.
This weird environment. Yeah.
Yeah, where like nobody's like, and credit to him. I mean, because I was playing for a job, right? Not many other guys really were there. But still, it's weird, right? When you're going 110% and everyone else seems like they're going 90, like it's this kind of a weird vibe.
And you don't know everybody.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, fuck it. So I'm like, okay, like this guy wants me to. So the next shift, which I knew, which is going to happen. I just went out there and I played like it was, game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, right? So I'm in the corner and I'm freaking hammering guy in the forecheck, right? Like cross checking. And of course, like the guy that I run into is Jamal Myers, who was asleep the whole game. And he's like, who the hell is this guy coming in now? And playing beyond where this game is at. Yeah. And of course, so whatever, that didn't take long. So I got, there's my 5 minutes. We got in a fight, and it wasn't a huge tilt where, whatever, it was a few punches, and he kind of actually grabbed me from behind as I was going to try and get the puck. I had just, so he had kind of spun me around and anyways, and there it was. It was kind of quick and over fast, but there's a long answer to your 5 minute story.
I like the answer. A lot of people they watch the games and they forget like the nuances that might happen and those little things that like mid game that you got to navigate around, especially when you're young and you come over and you're in St. John's, then Long Beach, then L.A. and Larry Robinson, and I don't know. It just all happens so quick.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you the trade story? Your when I got traded because.
No.
Going from so when I got traded to LA, to your point, and for those listening at home, like if you know geography at all, like you legitimately, I don't think can travel farther in the continent of North America, like going from St. John's to Long Beach or Los Angeles.
And where you lived in St. John's was like 5 minutes from the furthest easterly point in all of North America. Right. Cape Spear, I'm serious. It's right there. So like you literally could not have gone any further.
Right. So there I am, and I get a call from Barney, Mike Marnett, my agent. And he's like, "Yeah, you're flying out tomorrow. Team doesn't play till Friday. I think it was like a Wednesday or something. And whatever. I got your flights all booked. You're leaving at 7 a.m. So of course, St. John's, like the boys take me out that night. Right. So we're out. I've been there 2.5 years. I don't even know if I went to bed that night. Right. Had the stuff packed. So they drive me to the airport. And then we have this, essentially day from hell. Right. I don't even remember where I went to. I think there was 3 connections or something, roll into with the time change. Like you save 4.5 hours there. So I think I got in around 3:00 in the afternoon and go to the rink. I'm by myself, right? Go to the rink, trying to find where the dressing room is. And like, I've eaten pretzels essentially, right? Like that's what I've had. I have no sleep. And I walk into the room and all the jerseys are hung and my frickin' jersey's in a stall. And Van Boxmeer is there. He's like, "Hey, you ready to go?" And I thought I was playing in 2 days, right? And I'm like, ready to go. I'm like, I've just been on 12 hours in the air with like no sleep and pretzels. I'm like, well, what do you say in the 90s, right? I'm like, yep, I'm ready. Let's go. Ugh. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Like back to the hotel, like try and get a nap, come back to the rink. And this is one of my favorite all-time pro stories. So like I barely found the dressing room the first time I was there, right? Like where to go, which one was ours. Yeah. So now I'm walking back. I know nobody in the IHL, like nobody, because they were in the IHL at the time. I didn't know one guy on my team, didn't know one guy on the other team. So I'm walking in and these guys are warming up because I was trying to, extract every ounce of sleep I could, right? So like half the guys are already at the rink, guys are on the bike. So I'm shaking hands on the way in. Hey, Jason Podollan just got traded here, blah, 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 walking in. I'm like 20 feet inside the dressing room. And the one guy finally says, he's like, "Hey kid, I think you're on the other team."
Oh my fucking what?
I was introducing myself to the opposing team because I knew nobody. Like, oh,
it's so funny though, because our league was all Eastern Seaboard. We were busting around the Eastern Seaboard. It's different now, the A, and it spans all the way out there. For those listening, that sounds nuts. The IHL was a little bit older. It was a lot of guys who had already been to the NHL on their way back down, and the AHL was definitely younger. Now if it's a Venn diagram, there's a huge middle ground there that a lot of people would go back and forth. But I won't even say a lot. Right? Because I remember at the next year going out there for a few games, 8 games, I think, in Utah, 1 in Long Beach, and I thought it was completely different. The whole league was different. There was more even coaches like Boxy. But Boxy, I didn't like Tarian. I'm not putting him there, but he was definitely a demanding coach. You know what I mean? Like, and not only that, it's LA, right?
Yeah.
So that's the end of that season. What did you do then for the summer? Did you go back home or did you stay there?
No. I went back home. Yeah, actually, Mike Dubinsky, the name you brought up earlier, he came down. He flew down. I said, what are you doing this week? You know, I don't know what the hell he was doing, and so he flew down. We hopped in my car and we had like the funnest trip. We driving back. We stopped in Vegas, and we ended up May long weekend in the shoe swaps. And anyways, we had a fun trip home. That's one of my most memorable times coming home. And I trained. We had a bunch of guys to train with. We had a lot of NHL guys in Vernon at the time. So we trained there. And then I did come in early for camp that next year, but always came home for the summer.
Are we going to see you back in St. John's anytime soon? You should come over and visit.
I know we've had that discussion, like, God, and I'm totally like, I am sincere when I say I want to bring my crew out there. Like, I think it'd be so fun to bring the boys. Yeah. They're at that age now where I think that they'd appreciate it for a summer, but it's every year. It's like, where does the time go? It's like, boom, you're done. But I have good intentions of coming back. I'd love to see some of the familiar faces that are there, and definitely a time that I enjoyed without question.
Oh yeah, man. I think the boys would love to see you, and the girls. The fans are still there. We just got a Q team.
Yeah,
AHL Newfoundland Regiment. It's awesome, man. It's a great vibe, but there's still all kinds of St. John's Leaf jerseys, all kinds. Yeah. Do you have any Up My Hockey? Do you want to promote that a little bit? So we talked about you being in Coeur d'Alene, but what is Up My Hockey exactly?
Oh yeah, well, Up My Hockey's it's a podcast, but the podcast is an extension of what the business is, and that's helping hockey players essentially be the best they can be through the avenues of mindset. So, when you think of mindset, what does that mean? It means preparation. It means your ability to recover from mistakes. It means your level of teammate. It means your ability to control the controllables. There's so many factors in it that I think young players overlook. I know I did. I'm sure you would attest to that.
Yeah.
TR, when it comes to playing the game, that can give you the edge that you need. So I work with individual players and teams. Actually, just onboarding the entire Thunder Bay AAA program from U15 all the way up to U18, which is awesome. Like, I want to start working with associations and academies, and that's the direction that it's going. It's real fun. It's real fun for me to see the difference that it makes, for groups, if it is a team that's doing it or an individual that kind of become sometimes, a new player in a very short period of time. So just trying to give back in that way to the game. I know it's kids are just raised differently now too, right? Like, it's nothing to do with necessarily the kid, but I just think the environment is different. So like, school is different, your social life is different. All these things are different, yet hockey in a lot of aspects is the same, with not being on a line where you want to be on, not getting benched, all these things that happen. Kids aren't familiar with that as much anymore, right? So it's like, how do I deal with that? This is the first time they've been told no. This is the first time something hasn't gone my way. It's the first time it's not easy. It's the first time I actually have to try for something. So like, there's lots of scenarios where it shows up that parents really don't know how to help. I mean, they obviously try, but sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes a voice from someone like you or I that's been there that, kind of has a methodology and a plan can really make a difference.
Pods, those are poetic words for any young hockey player in general, any hockey fan in general. Do you have anything else to pump or promote before we go? Thanks for doing this.
No, man. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to share. It's upmyhockey.com if anyone wants to check it out. Like, again, it's teams or individual players. I also have a podcast Terry's been a guest on, so we dive into the development side of the game, the adversity side of the game is what I talk to my guests about. I have some great guests that are on there if you want to become more familiar. And if you're a hockey parent listening to this, there's a parent group on Facebook, Up My Hockey Parent Group. It has like 3,000 people where we support parents on their journey to help their kids. So lots of ways to get involved.
Pods, it's been great. Thanks again for doing this. You're one of my oldest friends in the game. I hope I see you soon.
TR, you're a beauty. Thanks for having me. Glad to help.
There it is. Jason, the Hammer, Podollan. Great guy, great hockey friend. And I said, Jason, when we were just off air, when did we had a little bit of a chat, and in my head I thought that he'd been on like just a few months ago, and it's been like a couple of years, so it's wild how time flies. But really interesting guy. Check out Up My Hockey, and he has some awesome interviews. My interviews are more about stories that go anywhere. His are about like motivating and, you know, real hockey stuff that maybe a player or an ex-player had to or will have to deal with. So it's really interesting. And I'll tell you this. If you're downtown St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, why don't you check out Trinity Pub, TJ's Pub, Rob Roy Confusion, Martini Bar, Green Sleeves, and of course the Bull and Barrel. If you're going to go for a bite to eat, why not try Loose Tie, Blue on Water, and of course Wedgwood Cafe, who also do catering. Strength and balance for the body and mind. Where to find it? Rope Walk Lane. Ryan Power, Power Conditioning. Strength, balance, body, and mind. Crown Cabinets. Check it out just because. GS Construction, if you're in Edmonton, it's laying the groundwork for your community. Mr. Lube, 2 locations right here in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. One's on Kenmount Road. One is on Torbay Road. Live, laugh, lube. And of course, creative cabinets and closets. Creative closets and doors. Smart storage, beautiful spaces. Check that out. And of course, True Hockey. Want you to take what's yours. Thanks to True Hockey, Corey Gregory, and everybody involved for hooking me up with some great sticks and gear over the last few years. Folks, we'll be back real soon with more Tales with Tiara. See you tonight, Prince Edward Island.